What's up, everybody, and welcome to a new edition of Tape Don't Lie. Cam Smith, along with my running mate, Tim Doyle, and we are going to break down these 2020 NBA draft prospects. And Tim, we're going to first start with Precious Achiuwa out of Memphis. Had a phenomenal freshman season. He describes it as spectacular. And when you win Player of the Year in the AAC and also Freshman of the Year, I think he did himself justice by describing it as spectacular.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Cam. Nearly 16 points a game, almost 11 rebounds. As a freshman, Precious, I feel like he described Precious as like, oh, little baby, so precious. There's no babying about this game. This guy dunks everything in sight. He moves his feet extremely well on defensive end, runs the floor, rebounds. Now, if he can make a shot at the next level, look out.
Okay, Tim, the name Precious, like you said, is not a baby. He's a grown man that dunks with power. So let's get into one of the reasons why he's able to dunk with power, and that's because of his athleticism. This young man gets off the floor in a hurry, and we're going to see it in these clips.
Well, the game is changing right now where you don't want to have a plodding big man. You want to have someone that can rebound at one end and get down the floor. What's he running, you think, here, Cam? Like a 4.4, 4.5 40?
Easily, something that I wish I could run. I mean, he glides up the floor, and a lot of people say, well, he plays effortlessly. But this is a young man that, has that motor that allows him to just take another level and another step of how he plays. Now, this is great anticipation I love on this second play of what he sees from the floor, which lets me know what his basketball IQ is like. Dives right to the lane, and he has his hands ready to catch that basketball. And again, so quick off of the floor that by the time a defender decides to jump, it's too late. They already have Precious's chest in their face for the dunk.
Yeah, I think this is something that really goes underscored when you talk about basketball. With the game going so much pick and roll now, when you're diving to the basket like that, to have the wherewithal to kind of have the body control, you see the effort here getting off the ground, the catch. Like, I love the fact he never seems out of control. But when you make that catch in traffic, we all played with big guys that go, oh, and the ball just like fumbles out of their hands. Like, that's never an issue with Precious. He's got great hands. And when he finishes with authority.
You match great hands with also great coordination. And speaking of coordination, that's it right there. And that's what a lot of NBA GMs and scouts love to see at his size at 6'9", 225 pounds. What can he do when he catches the ball on the perimeter? Can he attack and can he finish at the rim or underneath and around to the other side? And he can do that, which lets you know, again, getting to his athleticism of how he's able to cover ground to make plays.
Well, it's not just like a Clint Capella type where it's just pick and roll and dive into the basket. We've seen guys like that now really evolve in the NBA. This is a big time move. Previous play, we watch him drive to his offhand. And now this is like you got something in your bag here where you're able to go one-on-one, especially late in the shot clock. You get into the NBA, that 24 seconds, that comes up real quick. And then when you get the ball once in a while, it's got to be like you got to have something. He's got something in his bag, and I think his offensive game is still evolving. He really started focusing on basketball in the 8th grade. So would you say he's like still some clay that you can mold, Cam?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And if you get him to the right franchise, they're going to mold him into a superstar. And really, even if you want to take a step below that, a serviceable player that's a star in the NBA, you talk about his game still evolving. This is a play here where he's able to make plays for himself. He's patient with that basketball, but when he gets to that lane, he just lifts off. That's something that we both wish that we could do, right, Tim? Get to the lane, go up with 2 and then dunk it with 1. It's beautiful.
I did that last night. Problem was I had like an eye booger and I was drooling. Like I was just dreaming. I was just sitting there like if I could do that, Cam, I'll tell you this right now. I would not have made $47,000 last year and I would be sitting next to you, right? My whole life would be different. Thanks for bringing that up, Cam. Really appreciate that.
Hey, Tim, I did that dunk as well, but it was on my son's Fisher-Price hoop. So that's how I can get up. All right, Tim, we talk about guys like Precious Achiuwa a lot when it comes to their size and their wingspan. Now, this kid is 6'9". Of course, we've seen the athleticism and how quick he is. But a lot of that comes to play when you talk about defense. He averaged 2 blocks a game. And what I love about what he can do defensively is that he can guard multiple positions, but you also get a taste of his wingspan here, which is over 7 feet.
Yeah, I mean, this is really him playing soccer. Something that he grew up playing in his home country, and that was really his first love. We've seen guys come over that were late bloomers in basketball. One guy that stands out is an Hakeem Olajuwon back in the day, but that footwork doesn't go away. Like that footwork, that timing. Hakeem was obviously one of the great defensive centers in the history of the NBA, and I think when you see Achiuwa make a play like this, if you're a GM, you got to get out the drool emoji because this is what they see 6'9, 7'2 wingspan, guard multiple positions. He brings so much to the table that I believe is guaranteed at the next level. That's why he's going to be selected, in my eyes, in the first round.
And what's great about this play here, you see him guarding the pick and roll. He's a little lazy on this play, right? Even though he has those quick feet, but what helps him is that wingspan. You touched on it. So he's able to cover ground. Look at him just extend that left hand, which is always the perfect hand when you want to contest or block a shot, and he does that. So NBA GMs see that, and they love that. They want him on their radar so they can try and select him because you can place him in a role of like a Jeremy Grant, who's been phenomenal with his career and has played X amount of years in the league and is still there because he's able to be that forward spot or play that forward spot that allows you to have a serviceable defender on the perimeter, but also can block shots like this at the rim.
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison, Cam. Spot on. Someone that's wildly athletic, that can guard multiple positions, because if you're in the NBA right now and you can only guard one position, I'm going to tell you this right now, you're going to get exploited, and you're going to get exploited fast. So this is something that's easily going to translate. In his 1 year at Memphis, he averaged a steal a game, which I really liked, active hands, and he averaged nearly 2 blocks a game. But the fact that footwork is so quick twitch, I think this kid's really going to come down to one thing, and that's work ethic. Like if his motor is 100% and he's working on his offensive game, he can be better than Jeremy Grant. And Jeremy Grant's been a good pro. He's going to play 10 plus years in the NBA. But that's the things that you really learn when you interview a kid and you sit him down. Can you kind of foresee that work ethic, him being a gym rat? If he loves basketball, sky's the limit for him.
Okay, Tim, we talked about Precious with his athleticism. We talk about him with his defense, but all of that comes from his energy. And you see that every single time he touches the floor. His energy is his game. And what do college coaches and coaches in general say all the time? Hey, I can't teach effort. This kid, you don't have to worry about effort because he's going to be active. And he channels his inner Dennis Rodman on this play, tipping that ball to himself to get that offensive rebound.
Yeah, when I saw him at times at Memphis, it kind of brought back flashbacks of Kenneth Faried, who the Manimal had some outstanding years in the league. You know what I mean? It was a real difference maker and got the most out of his ability. He wasn't a guy who was 6'11 or 7 foot, but he maximized his ability. And you're right, the energy and effort are there. It needs to be there every single possession. Now, 20 years old, and he's still got so much growing to do. But the upside here is just through the roof. Don't you agree?
Oh, 100%, Tim. And if I could throw out an emoji myself with him battling against 3 white jerseys in the paint, has to be the flex emoji. He's flexing on people right now. That's how you do that when you're down there battling. You get your shot blocked, and then you get back to the ball and you get an and one. But here, this is where he matches the energy, but in transition as well. And what I love about this play is his court awareness. How many times, as we mentioned, we played with big guys who don't know their right foot from their left foot, can't chew gum and walk at the same time. This kid can do all of that. He sees where the court is, and with the defender coming underneath him, knows that he's within arm's reach of that rim and finger rolls that basketball. So the basketball IQ matched with the energy is phenomenal.
No doubt about it. And I feel like you see him push pace here. Like he's got something in his game. And that's where I see the upside, because I mentioned the drool emoji before, because scouts know, like, we're going to get a defensive guy that's going to be able to guard, energy, and rebound. You show flashes of this, now scouts, they give you the mind blown emoji because they're like, oh boy, this is a whole other level that if this kid has this in his bag and he puts in the work, because he was only a 60% free throw shooter, like you can't be that bad of a free throw shooter if you're really in the gym working so much. So if he puts in the work, I absolutely love this kid. Goes to the right fit. A couple of years from now, could be a rotation / starter.
Yeah, and this kid has been playing basketball on the highest of levels. So he's a McDonald's All-American in high school, came out of Montverde Academy. So we know the players that Kevin Boyle has produced out of that basketball system. And of course, like you said, at Memphis, stepped in the place of James Wiseman, who was out, and he was comfortable in this role. And this helped him out so much to be able to be the guy for Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers. This is a big reason why he was Player of the Year in the AAC. For him, though, Tim, you mentioned the comparison to Kenneth Faried. I threw out Jeremy Grant. This is a guy that's going to have a 10-plus year NBA career and even longer, possibly, if he adds more offense to his game because he can be plugged into different areas.
Yeah, and I think once you sit down with him from a front office standpoint and you see that both of his parents are ministers, you look at his brothers and sisters, God's will, promise, grace, and peace, his two sisters. They were going to name me Saint, but then they were thinking about Devil, my parents. Instead, they landed on Tim.